Good day, Mrs. Gatdula. We're going to present about marketing research. First, let's define what market and research are. Next slide, please. A market is a gathering place for buyers and sellers to exchange or transact goods and services. And research is a creative and systematic investigation. It generates and contains accurate and critical information, methods, and comprehension, resulting in new knowledge and conclusion. Next slide. Marketing research for the new venture. Next slide. Marketing research. Marketing research is a function that connects marketers to consumers, customers, and the general public via information. This data is used to identify and define marketing opportunities and problems, as well as to generate, refine, and evaluate marketing actions, to monitor marketing performance, and to better understand marketing as a process. In short, marketing research is a systematic gathering, analysis, recording of qualitative and quantitative data regarding marketing products and services. Next slide. The market research process. The market research process is a methodical approach to informing business decisions. We have six steps to success. 1. Define objective and problem. Second, determine research design. Third, design and prepare research instrument. 4. Sampling and data collection. 5. Analyze data. And 6. Visualize and communicate results. Next slide and next reporter, please.
Define the object and your problem. Defining the project's goals is perhaps the most important step in the market research process. Understanding the primary question, which must be informed by market research, is at the core of this. There is usually critical business problem or opportunity that needs to be addressed, but there is a lack of information to make an informed decision. The job of researcher is to provide the decision with solid data. Business problems include things like how should we price this new widget or which features should be prioritized. You will be able to keep your research focused and effective if you clearly understand the business problem. Next reporter, please.
The next step would be determine your research design. Now that you've identified your research topic, it's time to plan the type of research that will obtain the most useful results. Consider the research design to be your detailed strategy. In this step, you first decide on your market research method. Will it be a survey, focus group, or something else? You will also consider how you will identify and select your sample. Like, who are we looking for? Where will we find them? How will we incentivize them, etc. This is also the time to think about where you'll do your research. Keep it to the telephone, speak to someone in person, you can email them, or use the internet, and many other options. Remember, to keep the end goal in mind, what will your final research or report look like? Now, based on this, you will be able to identify the types of data analysis you'll be performing, like simple summaries, advanced regressions, analysis, and so on, which will dictate the structure of the questions you will be asking. Next slide, please. The nature of the data you are attempting to collect will influence your choice of research instrument. There are three categories to consider. First, exploratory research. This type of research is used when the topic is poorly defined or understood, when the hypothesis is poorly defined and your knowledge of the topic is hazy. Exploratory research will assist you in gaining broad insights, narrowing your focus, and learning the fundamentals required to go deeper. Secondary research, focus groups, and interviews are common exploratory market research techniques. Exploratory research is a type of qualitative research. Second one is the descriptive research. If your search objective calls for more detailed data on a specific topic, you'll be conducting quantitative descriptive research. The goal of this type of market research is to measure specific topics of interest in a quantitative manner. Surveys are the most common descriptive research instrument. Last but not the least, casual research. It is the most specific type of research, and it usually takes the form of a field test or experiment. You are attempting to establish a causal relationship between variables in this case. For example, does the music I play in my restaurant increase the dessert sales? Is there a link between music and sales? Recap: exploratory research, descriptive research, and casual research. This tree will help you determine your research design. Next slide in reporter, please.
Design and prepare your research instrument. In this step of the market research process, it is time to design your research tool. If a survey is the most appropriate tool, as determined in step 2, you will begin by writing your questions and designing your questionnaire. If a focus group is your instrument of choice, you will start preparing questions and materials for the moderator. You get that idea. This is the stage in the process where you begin putting your plan into action. By the way, step 3.5 should be to test your survey instrument with a small group before a broad deployment. Put your sample data into a spreadsheet. Are there any problems with the data structure? This will allow you to identify potential problems early on. And there will always be problems. Next slide po. Collect your data. This is the meat and potatoes of your project. The time when you are administering your survey, running focus groups, conducting interviews, implementing your field tests, and so on. All of the responses, options, and observations are collected and recorded, usually in spreadsheet form. Each nugget of information is valuable and will be incorporated into the masterful conclusions you will soon reach. Next report and slide, please.
Ay, balik mo, te. 5. Analyze your data. Analyze your data. You know have a mountain of raw data in your lab. If it is on a scrap of paper, you need to get it spreadsheet format to analysis. If it is already in spreadsheet form, double check it that it's properly structured after that. The real fun begins. Build tables and graphs. Segment your result by groups that make sense, and look for major threats in your data using the tools provided in your software package. 6. Visualize your data and communicative result. It is now time to compile the most important takeaways into readable report or presentation. Starting with the research objectives and business problem, and then identities in step 1 is a great way to present the data. Restate the business question, then present your recommendation to address those issues based on the data. When it comes time to present your findings, remember to include insight, answers, and recommendation as well as the charts and tables. If you include a chart in your report, consider what does this mean and what are the implications. Next reporter, please.
Understanding potential target markets. Market segmentation and its variable. Market segmentation is the process of dividing a target market into smaller, more defined categories. It segments customers and audiences into groups that share similar characteristics such as demographic, interests, needs, or location. Segmentation variable, param- parameters used to differentiate one type of market behavior from another. Second, benefit variables, specific characteristics that differentiate market segments based on the benefits desired by customers. Demographic variables, specific characteristics that characterize customers and their purchasing power. Next reporter. Marketing strategies based on segmentation considerations. The unsegmented strategies, mass marketing. A strategy in which the entire market is defined as the target market. The multi-segment strategy, a strategy that recognizes individual market segment preferences and develops a unique marketing mix for each. The single segment strategy, a strategy that acknowledge the a strategy that acknowledge the existence of multiple market segments but focuses on only the most profitable one.
Estimating market potential. Next slide po. The sales forecast. Prediction of how much of a product or service will be purchased in a given market during a given time period, differing time periods. A necessary component of a business plan because it is critical in determining the feasibility of a new venture. Next slide po. Limitations to forecasting. Used less frequently by small businesses because inexperience combined with a new idea makes forecasting difficult. Business managers may be unfamiliar with quantitative analysis methods. Quantitative methods have proven to be useful in forecasting. The management team is unfamiliar with the forecasting process. Next slide po. Forecasting process. The starting point. Breakdown process same ratio method begins with a larger scope variable and works down to the sales forecast. The build-up process identifies all potential buyers in a target markets, sub-markets, and then adds up the estimated demand. The predicting variable. Direct forecasting. The estimated variable is sales. Indirect forecasting includes using variables related to sales to project future sales. Next slide po. Key steps in estimating market potential. First, define your target market as well as the market segments within it. Second, define your market's geographical boundaries. Third, derive the category's average expenditure. Fourth, determine the area's state's average and household income. And the last is estimate market shares. And this is the formula. MP for market potential is equal to N number of possible buyers times P or average selling price times Q or average annual consumption. That's all po. Thank you.